Today, we're diving into how one single government exam in India managed to create a national firestorm. And let me tell you, this is about way more than just a few server crashes. It's really about shattered dreams and a massive crisis of trust. So, the big question is, why? How did things get so bad? You have to understand, for millions of young people in India, an exam like this one, the SSC Phase-13, is their ticket. It's their path to a stable career, something they might spend years preparing for. So what turned this moment of opportunity into a flashpoint for nationwide protest?
Well, it all kicked off online. Hashtags like #SSC mismanagement and #Justice for aspirants just exploded on social media. This wasn't just a trend, it became a digital rallying cry for thousands and thousands of students who felt like the entire system had let them down.
And that online anger, it didn't stay online for long. It quickly spilled out onto the streets of Delhi. You had these huge demonstrations at major government sites, and suddenly this digital problem became very, very real. It was impossible to ignore. So let's break down how this whole thing fell apart. We're talking about an exam in total chaos. Okay, so the exam period starts on July 24th, 2025. But almost right away, reports of massive failures started pouring in. And by early August, what started as scattered complaints had snowballed into full-blown organized protests. Now, we're not talking about minor glitches here. This was a complete systemic breakdown. Just imagine you've spent years of your life studying for this one test. You show up and it's just canceled. Or your computer crashes right in the middle of it. Or, get this, you find out your assigned exam center is hundreds of miles away from your home. It was absolute chaos.
With all this going on, the body in charge, the Staff Selection Commission, or SSC, obviously had to say something. So let's look at how they responded.
The head of the SSC, S. Gopalakrishnan, did come out and admit there was mismanagement. He acknowledged the system failures. But he was also very, very clear on one point. A full, nationwide cancellation of the exam was completely off the table.
So, what was their solution? A retest. But here's the catch. It wasn't for everyone. They only offered it to about 2,500 candidates. That's just a tiny fraction of all the people who took the exam, and you can imagine, that did not go over well.
The SSC also tried to defend its process. They said the exam agency was chosen through a transparent process. And then, as a big next step, they announced they were bringing in the firm Ernst & Young to do a full third-party audit to figure out what on earth went so wrong. Okay, so the SEC is talking, they're announcing audits, but there was this other major player in all of this that was being, well, conspicuously silent. And that was the central government itself. And you can really see the difference here. On one side, you have the SSC taking these concrete, even if they were limited, actions. And on the other side, from the central government, there was just nothing. No statements, no reassurances, not a single word about the crisis. And you know, when there's a vacuum like that, someone is always going to step in to fill it. And in this case, it was the opposition parties. Senior political figure Manish Sisodia did not hold back at all. He basically came out and accused the administration of having no plan and no accountability, saying they were gambling with the future of the country's youth. The Congress Party really hammered this point home. They pointed out the government's silence, even as police were being used to break up the student protests. It was a powerful criticism. And this, right here, is where the whole thing just spiraled. It stopped being about a logistical nightmare and became something much, much deeper. It became a genuine crisis of trust. It's what people call a trust deficit. For all those students, the issue wasn't just about a broken exam anymore. It was about losing faith in the very system that's supposed to give them a fair shot at a better life. This table really just lays out the entire domino effect, doesn't it? The exam failures lead to protests. The SSC gives a partial response, but the government says nothing. That silence then fuels even more anger and gives the political opposition a perfect opening to attack. Now, the calls for real accountability and serious reform are just getting louder and louder. And it leaves all of us with a really critical question, one that goes way beyond just this one exam. When faith in a system is totally broken, what does it actually take to rebuild it?